so tired of being
Yes, yes. Back again? Back again, here we go. Public drain number 5. Come on! Big leg. You do! It's not a catfish. It's a carp. Yeah, baby! Come on! Come on! 14,000 acres, baby! Some people say to us, oh, you must be having a good job. Oh, yeah, it's all good. Oh, live the dream. Look at it. Look at it. It's not a
Yes, boys, we are back again, and this time we are starting the Public Dream 5 on a massive lake. It's 3,500 hectares, and let me tell you something a little bit about the story behind it. Bonesy asked me a couple of times, like, Bas, I want to fish a massive lake, like a real big one, but unfortunately in France the regulations are getting tighter and tighter around the public lake fishing. And the lakes where you can move freely, fish the nights, etc. are getting less and less. But luckily enough, there are a few lakes in France where you can still enjoy this lovely fishing. I arrived really early in the morning around the lake, and I wanted to lap the whole lake, but I already found out it was near to impossible to do it in the morning. I knew it was big, but when I saw it in real life, I thought, oh my god, what have I done? And one of the main things that you have to keep in mind of fishing this lake is that it's really shallow. So a lot of swims look nice from the bank, but when you look on the depth card on internet, it's really hard to fish them, because the drop off is around 500 meters or more. And with a drop off I mean so you can fish deeper than 3 meters of water. But after the whole morning lapping the lake, checking swims, flying with the drone, etc., I finally decided, yes, this is where we're going. Filled the boat with all of the gear that I needed. Bonesy had only 1 hour to drive left. So I quickly go to the swim, put up the bivvy and some bits and bobs. And then I go back by boat to pick up Bonesy.
Welcome, Bonesy. Yeah, baby. Look at that. It's a bit of water, isn't it?
It's literally like the sea. It's like being down the Western Supermare. Unreal, absolutely unreal. Look at it. Just unbelievable, Bas.
Yeah, definitely.
Can't wait. I'm so buzzing. So look at all these boats in the water and outboards on.
We got a lot of work to do still.
Yeah, man.
I'm already on the swim.
Yeah. Like, pumped up 2 boats.
Lovely. It's always raining when we start fishing.
Of course it is. The public dream, Bas, is the public dream.
No, it's the public nightmare. It starts with a nightmare and it ends with a dream.
I love it. It's sick. Right, let's go.
Whoop whoop. Okay. Such a lovely water.
Smile, boys.
Yes, yes! Back again? Back again, here we go. Public dream number 5. And where are we, Bas?
We are on an inland sea, you can call it.
Yeah.
It's a 3,600 hectare.
About 14,000 acres. There's actually oil rigs in the middle of this lake, and there's loads of them. It's enormous, absolutely enormous. Arrived a bit late. I've had 16 and a half hours driving today, but we're going to get started, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. I'm already done.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the rods out, and it's now already 7:30.
So I've got about 2 hours to try and get some rods out.
Yeah.
If I don't get them out tonight, I'm going to wake up first thing, first light, and get them out. It is a really big water. I don't know it yet. I need to go out with my echo and find some spots.
Yeah.
So we've got 9 nights on here, haven't we?
Yeah, in total we've got 9 nights, and now this is the starting point, and we will see how we get on. And I think it's one of the biggest challenges in my fishing life. So,
it's definitely the biggest challenge in my fishing life.
Okay.
I've been doing this for a year.
Enough talking. We go.
I need to get ready to get started.
As you could see in the video, I was really excited to start fishing. I waved Bonesy goodbye and entered the lake. And to be honest, the fishing was quite simple. It was just a long way out, and we saw on a depth card on the internet where the drop-off was. So my left-hand rod was around 100 meters and my most right-hand rod was on 500 meters next to an oil rig. But you can see the drop-off really good on the echo. All of the rods were positioned in a line, give them a big head of bait, and the wading could begin. Bonesy, on the other hand, had to do all of his rods, all of his leaders, all of his rigs. So on the end of the day he only managed to put one rod out, and then it was pitch black. And after a really long day of traveling, putting everything up, we put our heads down really early. So yes, a blank the first night, but no problem at all. We still have plenty of nights left to make this a good session. First thing in the morning, Bonesy jumped on the lake to put out his rods.
So all the rods are in and I've got one more to put out, and I thought I'd just quickly sit down and explain a few bits about the swim, about the lake, how we're baiting, where we're fishing and what sort of rigs we're using. So to start off with, on really big lakes like this, it's good to try and find a depth map, and we downloaded a depth map which actually showed us where the different depths were. Now you could end up in a swim and it could be dead barren and flat and there's no features, nothing. The swim we've landed in, you've got about 100 meters where it's only 1 meter deep, and then all of a sudden it drops off to really thick, dense weed. Where that weed finishes, you've got 5 meters, which is about 15 foot, which is a nice depth, and the fish will be using that weed bed to work their way along the margins, up and down, up and down. So the plan is, I've got 2 rods already out, both next to the weed bed. One of them's to the right. I've gone round the corner slightly, using a special little gimmick on top of a bank stick, which means I can go a little bit round, and if I get a fish, I'm able to lift it out of it and go out on the boat to land it. My next one is out at about 180 meters. As the weed finishes, I've baited a nice area and I've dropped the rig there. Now when it comes to bait on here, I'm using really big baits. Well, big baits in my eyes. Bas will laugh at me because he will use up to 30 mil baits, and I just, being an English fisherman, we use such small baits, 8 mils, 12 mils, 15 mils, but out here I'm baiting with 26s, 22s and 18s, which to me is a really large boilie. To that I've added some tigers, I've got some liquids in there, I've got some of the SLK Hydro Wheat, which is a really sticky substance. I've put it on the bait, that will go down, hopefully create a nice carpet of bait and a lot of attraction. Because on a lake like this, the fish are so far and few between that you need them to find some reason to go and have a little look. Now rig wise, again, this is so alien to me. I'm using a double 22 mil hard hooker, and the reason I'm using a hard hooker is because there could be crayfish in the weed beds, so I want to ensure that my bait is nice and hard. Tomorrow, if it came in, it'd be nibbled, I can always put some protection around it. Then I've drilled it out and I've added a little bit of red foam, which is just going to balance it out a little bit, but it's also going to give it a little bit of a sight attraction. I've then got my favourite slip D rig with a semi-stiff material tied to a size 2 curved shank hook. Now it's my favourite hook. That straight point I feel goes in really, really well, and it just holds phenomenally. Then I've got a little bit of separation there just to allow the boilie to move. Should the boilie go up into a fish's mouth, that means that hook is going to get a really good hook hold, hopefully in the bottom lip. I've then got a 10-inch hook link. I use a slightly longer hook link because when fish are big, I think they have to invert themselves a little bit more, meaning there's more room for that bait to go up in its mouth. The only other thing I'd need to cover was leads. We're using 9-ounce leads. The reason being that obviously, as you can tell from the introduction, when the wind picks up, this lake really does get moving. You've got such a long way until the far bank. The wind comes across it, it just gets faster and faster, and you need a really heavy lead to make sure you're holding bottom. That lead is then attached to a 60-pound leader. Again, lots of snags. I want a really robust leader that means that if it does get caught around anything, there's less chance of it getting cut off. Anyway, it's time to get the last rod out and hopefully catch a fish out of this phenomenal lake.
Yes, Bonesy. Living the public dream again.
Oh yeah, that's been a long old day.
Public hard work.
Oh God, these big lakes are something else. I've had a little break this morning because I had to pop out, get some more stuff from the van, come back. I spent a good 2.5 hours getting the rods out, finding the perfect spots, getting them all out.
In wind force. God damn it.
At one point, it was chopping so hard, the boat was bouncing. We've had to put new pegs in, everything like that to keep the boats in place. But I did have a drop back.
Yeah, and you get your?
It wouldn't be a public dream
Without a bream.
Didn't catch a bream. Unbelievable. This bream must have been about £1, and it picked up a 22mm hook bait with a 15mm
Insane, isn't it?
Ridiculous.
But the weather conditions aren't the most comfortable weather conditions, but they are definitely good for catching a couple of carp.
Hopefully.
You should think. Little bit of wind.
Yeah.
Can't complain about the weather on fishing terms, but
to give you an idea, when I had that bream, I pulled into it, thought it was a carp, potentially had gone straight into the weed bed.
Yeah.
I've gone out there, it was so choppy that I couldn't get my rod back out, so I had to bring the rod back in, and I had to wait for the wind to die down to be able to get back out and get the rod back out. But it's back out.
everything is back out, so
Time for some food.
time for some food, and we hopefully see you tonight.
Yeah. Old school bait runners. Look at them bad boys.
They're definitely the best. They're, I think in Holland they're 125 euros, but proper workhorses.
Deep spools.
Yep,
Fill them up,
unbreakable.
he says.
So my girlfriend says fill them up.
That's because she's never had it. Yeah.
Come on! Big leg! Doo-doo! Go, 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 Bonesy! Let's get him! Come on, be the first one. Come on, Drew! Come on, Grandpa! So Bonesy, I could see it by the drone.
That was
live.
Big catfish. It was massive. Literally, I got out there. I've only got three pound Tesco rods on 10 foot. Great for the boat work, but I could feel I just couldn't move it. And then it's like, and it's going under the boat, and of course you've got to be so careful not breaking your rod. And in the end, when I finally got it up to the surface and I seen how big it was, I thought my only option is to try and tow it in. So I pointed the rod at it and just gently put the motor on.
You've learned it from me, like last time. I've told you as well.
What can you do? You're out in a little 2-metre boat with a 42-inch landing net and a probably £100 catfish. I was like, it just wasn't going to happen. The wind was picking up, raining. I thought if I can tow it in, at least we can get it to the bank. But towing it in, it's just come off. So
now the dinner is cold, but
but it doesn't matter. We've had a bite, heard the alarms go off. Where there's catfish, where there's bream, there has to be carp.
definitely.
Well, good morning. Not a lot to report through the evening, but that was to be expected on a lake like this. One thing's for sure, I don't think I've ever fished a lake that has so many different types of weather. We started off, we've had heavy rain, big winds, cold winds.
Everything you can imagine.
Warm winds.
Especially a lot of rain.
Yeah, especially a lot of rain. We had mist this morning, fog. you know, now it's not that choppy. That catfish last night absolutely destroyed me out in the boat. You know, you'd got choppy waves, white peaks, everything like that, and now it's calm and it feels good. We're just discussing now the potential move tomorrow, so do another night here and then look at moving. Obviously it's a big old amount of work to move because we've got so much kit to pack up, 4 boats that we've got to load up, and then not only that, get the petrol outboards out to be able to move. We've seen a guy pack up today and he's done a big length of the lake down into the corner, so we don't know if he's packed up to go home or whether he's gone into the far corner where there's a little bay which has also got night fishing. There's more night fishing opposite us, so but at the minute the wind switched a little bit and it's coming into our faces, so we're going to give it another night here and see what happens. We do the rods in a bit, but for now absolutely loving being on this incredible expanse of water. How many years you been fishing public lakes?
At least 15.
And what do you think of this one?
It's massive, and yeah, it's just another style of fishing as well. But I'm used to move around a lot, and now I'm already a bit on my toes. Like the first night we didn't fish that well, but there were definitely rigs on spots that can produce a bite, and we didn't see anything. Now last night we did everything perfect. Good wind on a swim and low pressure, so you should think when they are around they're catchable, but nothing happened. And yeah, you can look wherever you want to go, but when they're not there, you're not going to catch them, is it?
Different, isn't it? You can't seem to find fish on here that easy. It's a case of you know, you sit and wait a little bit and then potentially move tomorrow if we need to.
Yeah. It's
I
also
can see you itching. I can see it in you. You're itching to move.
It's also depending on the weather a bit, you know. Like we have a lot of kit with us, and it's nice to have the comfort with you, but it's also giving you a lot of hassle to tow it around you with your boat and all that, and you can't move your gear when it's like heavily pouring down on us. So we'll see how we get on. Just a different experience than I'm used to. So yeah. Let's keep the dream alive and
live in the public,
keep pushing it.
It's a carp. It's a carp. It's a carp. It's a carp. Come on, the carp. It's not a catfish. It's a carp. Yeah, baby. The first one. Yeah. Look at that. Come on. Come on! 14,000 acres, baby! Woo! Hey, Bas! We done it, baby! Come on! Come on! Look at that! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Oh, yeah! She's a good one and all. She's a good one. Oh, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Good morning, Bonesy.
There's a smile on my face because we've done it, baby.
Yes, mate.
Managed to catch a carp out of this colossal water. We had a bit of an interesting night. Bas had an absolutely enormous catfish, which towed him around out in the boat, and obviously he couldn't land it on the boat, but he managed to tow it in, and we got a shot of it actually in the water on the GoPro. It was massive, and I reckon that was the sort of size catfish that I hooked, but I just couldn't get it to the bank. But last night I've had a carp, and she is sat there waiting for us to get the cameras on her. it was an absolutely ridiculous take, just ripping. I didn't even have to go out in the boat to land it. I picked up the rod and it just very gently came in. And yeah, I've got my first carp out of 14,000 acres of water. It's just, for me, it's such a massive achievement to catch something out of here. You know, the past couple of days have been hard work for both of us. You know, you're starting these programs, you really just want to fish to get it started, and now we've got it started. We are going to move today, we're still going to move. Bas has just had the catfish, I've had a catfish. We had a take yesterday where a roach had got caught on my hook bait. How it had managed it, I don't know, but then a catfish has actually grabbed the roach and gave me a take as well. But to get a carp on the bank, I'm buzzing. So let's get this bad boy out, get it weighed, and let's get some shots.
Yes, Bones. Look at it.
It's very cliche to say it in a video, but I am blown away. My first carp out of 14,000 acres. Keep saying how big this lake is because you've got to see it to believe it. Oil rigs in the middle of it. There's pike anglers everywhere. There's all sorts going on. Absolutely incredible. Just over 35 pound of mirror carp. I just can't get my head around it. I really can't. To catch a fish like this in a lake this big has made it's probably one of the best fish I've caught in my life. I can't deny that. Absolutely flawless.
We definitely put our balls on the line with this
We
film,
did,
but
yeah. Coming here, it was just, we knew this lake was notoriously very difficult. People sit on here for weeks on end without a fish. We thought we'd put our balls on the line and we'd come and give it a go.
yes, right.
And we've succeeded.
This is where it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, now it's time to see if we can get another one. One for me and hopefully one for Bas, and who knows, maybe there'll be a few more. But for now, let's get some photos done and get her back.
Yes.
Happy days.
Yes, Bonesy.
That's some serious weather out there, Bas.
Yeah, this is the dream.
Just calmed down. Managed to get out and get all the markers in, ready for the move. Everything's packed up now. It's just a case of load the boat, drop the bivvies, and then get on the move. Hopefully the wind's going to die down and we can get moved.
Yeah, we're just locked in now for...
It's so difficult. We've had a fish from here, but it's like, I think it's time for a move. Why not?
Yeah,
you know, you never know. We might move on to another swim. Might be different fish, better fish.
Yeah, it's about 1 kilometer down the bank, but
we like to move. We do like to move. It's part of it. These big lakes, it's part of it, isn't it? Having to move.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully the weather clears up really soon, and then we can start packing, because
the moment that weather clears up, it needs to be loaded.
We're running.
The only problem is we need to fly to the van, don't we? Because we need some more leads.
Yeah. Yo.
Tired.
Okay, we are leaving. Only thing is, the outboard has no water cooling anymore. But as you can see, it's getting really dark over there. So we definitely have to move, or else when everything gets wet, you might have a really big problem. But what a nightmare. Bonesy's engine is working still, but we're afraid that maybe we'll that one up as well when we are going to tow everything. So hopefully this will work, and we'll see how we get on. Oh no, we're probably not going to make it dry. I really hope that everything stays on. We're almost at the swim, as you can see here. Go there, now we can fish this area, new area. Oh baby Jesus, and it's going to get really wet.
And then also the wind started to pick up, so the nightmare was complete. Bonesy receivers and his toothbrush fall in the water. I had to place my camera under my ground sheet in my boat to save it from the rain.
Whose fault is this, John? Your fault, your engine broke. Look at us now. Some people say to us, "Oh, you must be having a good job. Oh yeah, it's all good fun, live the dream." Look at it. Look at it. This is not a dream.
Well, we managed to move swims. However, the weather report wasn't quite accurate. And as you can see, it is far too stormy to be able to get the boats out. So unfortunately tonight, I think it's a night of camping.
Yeah, camping in wow. It's cold as well. Look at the waves.
Look at the waves. The waves are unreal. Absolutely unreal.
I should have brought my surfing board.
I know. I put some extra long pegs in the bivvy and barricaded it all down, just to make sure that it stays safe. I've had to take all the boats out of the water. You know, there's no rods out, it's just savage. Even if you've got to take, there's nothing you're doing because you can't go out in the boats, it's too dangerous. So we're just going to have to sit out the storm and hope that tomorrow it's a bit calmer, we can get the rods out and get some carp on the boat, boys.
Loving the big lake fishing.
Yeah, baby.
How's life, Bonesy?
As you can see, today is a very different day to what it was last night. That wind just got worse and worse.
Yeah, savage.
I've never been in a storm like that on such a big open expanse of water.
That's the problem, what it is.
Yeah.
Because we are on a point over here, and the first thing that the wind hits
was our bibbies. Yeah. Thank God we've got some long pegs. We did take the social cap off Bas's bibby just to make sure, and then barricaded all around the back.
I was just hanging on the bivvy to put it down because it was like the enormous waves, and especially at night.
It was crazy, wasn't it?
Savage. So we didn't fish at all.
I don't think we'd have been able to anyway, even if we'd have got the rods out early. There's that much weed that has blown into the edges and it just wiped us out. It caused a nightmare in the night. You know, if we'd have got a take, there's nothing we could have done about it. You couldn't go out in that sort of weather. But now we've got nice weather and we're getting the boats back out.
And we've got, I think, 20 pike anglers.
Oh yeah,
sprayed on
there
the
is
swim.
so many pike anglers, it's ridiculous. Because obviously on these lakes, the pike anglers go out in boats, they sit on the edge of the
It's
weed.
the start of the season.
Yeah, so of course they're nice and busy, but we'll be alright, we'll get our H-box out and they're pretty good. But we're going to get the rods out because I'm itching to get the rods out now. Now that it's calmed down enough, get the rods out and let's see if we can get into the carp.
Let's go, Bones.
Yeah, about that.
Oh yes, the public dream is still alive. And I was fishing between 300 and 500 meters out and Bonesy around 200. But with this style of fishing you need to have a bit of luck on your side with the circumstances. I have placed all of my markers on nice looking spots, but the pike anglers were savage and a new problem just started. Floating weed. Because of the storm of yesterday, all of the weed came off and it collected around my lines before it could sink to the bottom. And all of our rods were slowly getting wiped out, one after another. But just before dark we repositioned all of the rods and we were still confident in the bite.
We're going
Let's see.
Let's get the rods out. Come on.
the eyes now. You could never look me in the eyes now. You could never look me in the eyes now. You could never look me.
I think my face says it all, Bas. And I know what your face looks like because I'm looking at it.
I'm luckily behind the camera.
This style of fishing, it's hard to explain to you just how much hard work it is for one to get the rods out. You're fishing in areas that are a long way out. Then when pike anglers turn up,
6 o'clock in this morning.
that I don't have any etiquette. It's bizarre. They look for your markers and they fish around your markers because obviously you put bait there, there'll be bait fish there, so they search for that. And I can understand it. They fish right on top of your markers, and subsequently 2 of Bass's rods have been taken out by pike anglers. And not only that, when they pick it up, they don't untangle it, they just cut your line.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, for God's sake! So they just throw all your stuff over the side.
We were told they were kind to us, but they aren't.
It's just been a bit of a nightmare this morning. I've had 2 rods taken out. Bass has had 2 rods taken out. It was an angry morning, so I've gone off to the shops because we needed some more food, and I needed to get my headspace ready to start fishing again properly. But we're back fishing again now. I'm just about to put the rods back out. Bass is going to get his back out. The pike anglers have all gone, and hopefully we can get some carp on the bank. But when you actually think about that, we've been here Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. We've done 4 nights. We've only actually fished, I reckon, 48 hours.
Yeah, probably.
Down to weather, down to moving.
My rods were in yesterday evening, 9 o'clock.
That's it, yeah, and they were out again this morning
6
by 7.
o'clock the first rod. So it's less than 12 hours they were in.
You think when you're here for a long time, like we're here for 7 or 8 nights, you're thinking that's a lot of fishing, but it's not, because you just get, there's so many things against you all the time. You know, the weather today is nice, and it is nice, and it's been quite calm this morning, which is why I'm going to get the rods back out now, because I know they'll be positioned well. But like the past couple of days with the weather, it's so difficult. There's so many things, but don't get me wrong, it's great, and I'm absolutely loving being here, but it is tiring and it's hard work. But we ain't going to give up. We've said before in these programs, you know, effort equals reward, and if the amount of effort we've put in, I really hope we're rewarded. I've had a fish, I'm happy. I'd love Bas to get one now, and if we can get a couple more, great. But that's big lake fishing, I think, and it's an experience.
Definitely, Bas.
Yes, another blank. And after 2 nights of nothingness, we decided to go on a move again. Each morning, the pike anglers were hanging around on our spots till at least 8 o'clock in the evening. So our effective fishing time was so small on this pack, we had to make a move. First thing that I did in the morning is jumped in the boat with a petrol motor and checked the possibility of a new swim. I found a really lovely area about 5 kilometers on the other side of the lake. The weather was pristine to move all our kit by boat. So we didn't wait, packed everything up and get in the boat. We still had 2 nights ahead of us, so you never know.
Hi, man. You alright? You need some petrol?
I need some petrol. I can't believe it. It died on me. I was like, no, what's happened? And then I was like, oh no, and then it sort of started with a choke.
This is going to be a difficult one.
This is going to be very difficult. And I'm going to try and do it with absolute precision.
Yeah, and my boat's bumping into you.
Oh,
Fucking hell, Bonesy.
And yes, another swim, another update. This swim was completely different than the rest of the swim that we have fished. This was more spot fishing, nice holes in big weed beds and depths maximum 2.5 meters. Even on 500 meters from the bank, the deepest I could get was 2.9. And finally we had a bit of sunshine this day, but when we were enjoying a beer in the last evening sun, we already saw it coming. The rain and drama starts again.
hi, this morning, Bas.
Again, a really good night's sleep.
Not good night,
luckily
2
we have
o'clock.
coffee that's making me awake, because, or else I would sleep all day, because it's going to rain all day. 16 millimeters of rain.
It's a lot of rain in it.
And I didn't put my ground sheet correctly in, so there's even water in the bivvy. And we didn't catch it at all, so...
Definitely discovered this is very, very hard work. This big lake fishing, so
Yeah.
many things against you, weather,
Definitely.
pike anglers,
Yeah.
catfish, bream, crayfish. But the rewards are there, so we'll stick it out.
It is a bit demoralizing.
Demoralizing.
I've learned this
New
morning,
word for you.
And it definitely is. It's just, yeah, you never know if you're doing it right. And
Well, we've got one more night, mate, and then it's a pack up in the heavy wind, which should be interesting as well.
and rain.
But for now,
Living the public dream.
I will show you what we have. Just get that focus in. So we've got my rods are over there. I've got 4 rods out and coming across here. There's Bas's 3 rods. They're a long way out because it's so shallow. It just helps a little bit with having them further out in the water.
As you could see on my face, the spirit was low. After 7 nights in these conditions, it's just hard going. But Bonesy and I have scraped ourselves together and we have redone all of the rods in the pouring rain. Let's just pray for one more bite.
What an end.
Yep,
That was hard work getting those markers in.
it ended how it starts. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Rough and blowy. It's been a good trip. I've really enjoyed it. Massive learning curve.
massive learning curve. But yeah, eventually we didn't get anything more anymore. So,
It was hard work, but I've spoke to a lot of people who have fished on this lake, and they said we've done really well to get a fish.
yeah,
You know, it's 14,000 acres. You know, we managed to catch a carp out of it, a couple of catfish. Obviously, they weren't what we were after, but it's just such an incredible place.
Still hope you enjoyed the video.
Yeah, there'll
And,
be more to come. We've got some more to film this year, and
We'll
you
see
know,
how we get on. Hopefully
yeah.
a bit better. But see you
Somewhere
next
a little
time.
bit different.
And don't forget,
subscribe. Public Green, baby.
see you next time.